Do you need that much to grow on your first cycle? Like, no, you don't, obviously. Do you need an oral to kickstart your test? No, you don't. Do you need to be titrating up this aggressively when you first start? No, you don't. This guy would grow just fine with a fraction of the What's up guys, Derek, moreplacemoredates.com. Today we are going to be talking about, goes by Idiot on TikTok apparently. He is not Shaner. He's not Shaner, but he's an idiot apparently. He is the 6'9" of fitness with 2 clown emojis. Not just one, but 2 clowns. I had a WhatsApp thing, sorry. Check out my playlist. Hands up, black heart, fist, praying symbol. These are his entries on TikTok about his transformation. So if you go back, I don't even know how I stumbled across this stuff. You know, people mention me in the most obscure shit. And, you know, it's great. You know, it brings really obscure, interesting content to the channel. And this guy's been logging for a while now his transformation from day one using SARMs as well as using anabolic. So it's like he obviously doesn't care, which is cool. He's transparent about what he's doing. Obviously a respectable thing to be transparent in the fitness industry and to log his progress and show it. He's not too young. You know, it seems like he could have had the opportunity to do a decent amount of research. He is, according to his Instagram, 22 years old. This was back in September 19th, 2020. Now again, you know, I can't say for certain if this guy did his research or not, but just based on the cycle design itself, we're going to kind of extrapolate and I'll give my kind of feedback on if what he's doing makes sense. And it kind of goes back to the whole learning before you jump headfirst into this stuff, haphazardly starting these compounds without understanding how they work on endocrinology and pharmacology. You could end up in a position where you're making suboptimal progress for the amount of drug exposure you have in your system. You're using drugs that aren't, you know, well suited to what you're doing goals wise and or are less healthy options than you could otherwise be doing. Not that any of it is healthy, but some are substantially less so. So anyways, we're going to be getting into his progress here. So we start back in, like, I guess his first post on TikTok was October 8th. So this is pre anything. This is the foundation he has. Who knows if he's used anything at this point though. You know, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's natty here. He's got a little bit of an outline of a six-pack. He's got the delts, you know, sort of separated, I guess, but it's more like the positioning of how he's standing. Some dope pants, of course. So anyways, getting back to the first cycle, he is day 1 of 60 on RAD140 at this point. And this video got, man, this is like the worst goddamn setting I've ever heard as far as background noise. Jesus Christ. It's like his fucking dryer's going in the background. Day 7 of 60 on RAD140, 1 week down. Original sound idiot is the soundtrack. Not actually, it means like this is his sound and the guy calls himself idiot. So that is like the original audio of just what was in the video. As far as I know. I'm not an expert on TikTok. So the guy has a visible six-pack, you know, sort of. He was pretty consistently logging, dude. Like day 10, day 12, day 14. And he was planning on going for 60 days. So we're looking at about almost 8 weeks of exposure here that this guy is putting himself through on a highly suppressive SARM. Like some people, they might claim that RAD140 is, you know, very not that bad. You know, it falls into the same camp as Austrian and LGD. Like LGD is going to shut you the fuck down too. So will RAD140. These things will literally put you in double-digit test range with ease if you're doing an 8-week cycle at a reasonable dose, which for RAD140 is far less even than the clinically studied dose in the phase 1 trial. You can be using 20 to 30 milligrams of this stuff and shut yourself down like a motherfucker. Like in the study, they were using upwards of 150 milligrams and guys are using, you know, 20, 30, which is a fraction of that and getting shut the fuck down. So you can see how potent this is on its interaction with the HPTA. And we do see, you know, other aberrations and other biomarkers that are undesired, of course, that often go overlooked by guys in the SARMs community. But, you know, we'll get into that shortly. So here we get into day 36 of 60. So over halfway through at this point.
I haven't been to the gym in 3 days because my grandparents aren't doing well. So I've just been spending time with my family. But today was my first day back, like 3 days. And this is day 36 on RAD140.
That's it? You'd have no change in, no mention of your weight, no nothing? Okay. Let's see. Send this to someone you don't think could do 10 pull-ups. Get off my dick. Okay. Okay, so here it looks like he was starting his first cycle. So this was what happened. I guess he fell off a bit on the log. This was
just an update.
November 16th. November 17th. December 18th. December 18th. Okay, so I don't know if he took enough time off, because here he is on February 28th, already starting his cycle again. Like, this was day 1, March 5th. So the guy, you know, 36 days on
just an update.
November 16th. So, you know, in the middle of December, he finished the RAD140. How long does it take to clear out of your system? The half-life is a lot longer than expected, so you're going to be looking at a reasonable, I guess that like might give him enough time. Like, I guess it depends how suppressed he was. It's individual dependent, of course. So he pretty much did, I don't even know if he PCT'd. It doesn't have any information or context here, but it looks like he came off, just let the compound clear his system, probably, you know, just recovered, and then he's jumping headfirst into anabolics right away. So, you know, did his blood work clean up beforehand? Did he kind of rectify anything that might have been significantly thrown off? Tough to say, but it seems more like it was just a quick transition between getting off, probably recovering the majority of HPTA function if he was like a, you know, high functioning individual at baseline, and then getting into gear like right away. So he says, I think she's more excited than I am here.
Tomorrow's day 1. How excited are we?
So he has Winstrol, 50 milligrams per milliliter, also known as stanozolol, Test-E, was that 300 milligrams per milliliter, and then Arimidex, 1 milligram per milliliter. These are some sketchy looking bottles, dude. This looks like some, it's almost like research chemical company Winstrol, which is interesting. So anyways, you know, that is, let's just say this is his first cycle, presumably, because he did RAD140 already. I can't imagine you would have done gear before the RAD140 and then gone to RAD140 solo and then gone to this. So this is probably his first cycle, and he's already on test plus an oral plus an AI. So he's pretty much anticipating he's gonna have estrogenic side effects before even starting, or he just proactively has it on hand just in case, which would be a reasonable, you know, approach probably, but ideally you wouldn't even need it to begin with.
Tomorrow's day 1.
So he starts day 1, and this is his starting point. I feel like this guy's like perpetually sunburnt. Getting to week 1, week 2. Let's see what this is. Gym update here. Definitely can't put that fucking in there. He says, I'm pale. I can definitely relate. I am also pale. So getting into, let's see, week 3. You can see him starting to pack on a little bit of size. He's kind of recomping as he goes. He doesn't really give a lot of details for a guy who's like meticulously logging. You would think he'd like mention fucking something. Nope, just music. Bring on the hate. On a Come Up by Lil Easy. Fucking sick. So let's see how far we can get here. 4 weeks on Test and Winnie. Was at 400 and 200. Just started 500 and 250. Next month is 600 and 300. Test-E, by the way. So when he says 300, is he talking about weekly burden of Winstrol? It's kind of interesting because a lot of people wouldn't quantify it in weekly dose. Most people would do their orals and, you know, what they're using daily. So like he's using upwards of almost 50 milligrams of Winstrol per day starting in April, which is right now. Assuming that that's even what he's talking about by 600 and 300. So, you know, a pretty substantial fucking burden of gear for your first cycle. He's almost at a gram already, and he's only 4 weeks in, Test and Winnie for the first time, I assume. So, like, do you need that much to grow on your first cycle? Like, no, you don't, obviously. Do you need an oral to kickstart your test? No, you don't. Do you need to be titrating up this aggressively when you first start? No, you don't. This guy would grow just fine with a fraction of the shit. Now, granted, this isn't like exorbitant and ridiculous, but for a first cycle for a guy who's this size, you know, is it warranted? Probably not, to be honest. Like, I don't think he needs an oral really at all. 6 weeks on Test and Winnie, starting to really shape up here. He's got the downlighting. More music that's copyrighted. We got the chest piece started, so he's getting fucking tatted up here. And this was about a week ago, 7 weeks on Test and Winnie. So you can see, obviously gaining lean mass whilst, you know, recomping simultaneously. And this is typical expectation you would see on a first cycle for a guy who's not trying to gain a shit ton of weight. He is probably eating, you know, relatively close to maintenance, probably training hard, and is seeing the recomp effects. You're not going to gain a substantial amount of size. You're not going to lose a substantial amount of fat, but you're going to sort of get a hybrid of in the middle. Now, obviously your first cycle, it is, I guess, a lot relative to natty terms, but it's going to be, you know, it's not like a hyper-focused, you know, polarity of one or the other. And again, 7 weeks on Winstrol. Like, do you really need to be exposing yourself to a hepatotoxic oral steroid for, you know, months on end, especially right after you came off of a 60-week run of RAD140, which already definitely spiked your AST and ALT, or very likely did. I guess I can't say for certain. I'm just speculating that this is a significant burden on his liver unnecessarily, you know? Like, Test on its own is more than enough for a first cycle, and this seems like overkill to me. And especially the dosage, dude. Like, if that was, what did he say? Public service announcement, I don't recommend anyone doing PEDs, just showing my progression on them. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see, where was the dose? He said, yeah, so he started at 400 test. Like, was there anything wrong with that necessarily? Like, that seems reasonable. I don't see the need to titrate up to almost a gram, if I'm even interpreting this correctly. Let me go look at some of the comments in the comments section, and then we can wrap it up here. All right, so let's look at some of the most recent ones. I mean, it definitely worked, homie. Good looks, bro. Seeing progress. Hate is about to stop because you're making progress, and we can see it another 8 weeks by summer. You finna look sick if you keep this up, in all caps. Let's see. Check this fool out. Atting you after seeing your TikTok. Nice progress, bro. But once you're done cycling, you should get blood work and stuff done to make sure everything's good. Are you on liver support? What dose are you going to do your Novadex at? No liver support. Let's see. You did cut up some. You look tighter, which is what Winnie will do since it has a diuretic effect, but I'm not seeing any vascularity, to be honest. Regardless, you improved significantly. That looks like 1 year of natural progress. Crying face. You look similar to me. He just says, black heart, bionic fucking flex symbol. Like, I don't even know what that is. What is that, a robot? I can't even fucking tell. How's your strength? Bench is up 60 pounds. Yeah, seems like it is working, dude. Any effects to your hair? My hair is so damn curly, bro. I stay losing a few strands here and there, but nothing different from before. Yeah, man, like, is this cycle going to be ideal in a hair loss context? No, it's going to be pretty ruthless. Winnie is kind of bad. Honestly, for hair loss, it's not an ideal choice. And obviously Test converting to DHT, unfortunately, the culprit of a lot of issues too. But again, priorities, right? It's wild seeing how fast it's working. Why did you decide to hop on gear? Just curious. Impatient and losing motivation in the gym. Yeah, man. So obviously people are recognizing the progress, and doesn't seem like as many haters as he fucking anticipated. He said, bring on the haters. Let me look to the end of his RAD140 transformation, see if people are shitting on him. You're on SARMs and don't know how to flex your tricep. Say goodbye to natural T. LOL. Been there, done that. Biggest regret. Got blood work done after the cycle and had the test levels of an 80-year-old. I'm 23. Looking good, bro. Hope everything gets better for you and your family. Wow, that's mean. I think most natties' first day in the gym usually looks better. Dude, there's no fucking way. A guy who's, like, I guess if you have great genetics and you're untrained, maybe you look better. But I mean, most guys are not going to look like that when they literally just start. This is not impressive at all. Like, the guy just started, but I mean, fuck. How many milligrams are you taking? 15 milligrams. Okay, so not that crazy, but still, definitely going to experience some pretty significant suppression. So anyways, what is my overall stance? Honestly, I think this guy could have got away with less. You know, it's not like the RAD140 thing was that ridiculous. You know, 15 milligrams is pretty conservative, especially when you base it on the fact that it is literally 10 times less than the clinically studied dose. Not that that was like a really big indicator of anything. That study was done just as tolerability and kind of primary kind of measures of general liver toxicity, not even measuring like severity or comparing it to other anabolic agents that have been approved for clinical use and whatnot. But, you know, the Test in Winnie seems a bit excessive if indeed that was the dosage he was deploying. And you definitely don't need that much, dude, when you're this size. Like, I see people doing overkill shit all the time, adding in Tren on the first cycle. Like Winstrol, maybe not as bad as Tren objectively, but again, did you really need to do that off the bat? Probably not, dude. Like, I imagine you would get similar results using just a very baseline approach of the newbie cycle, not necessarily even needing 500 tests. Maybe you could avoid the Arimidex necessity at that point, but You know, like his 400 test beginning base was not like fucking crazy to me. That seems like more than reasonable, and I don't see why you would need to add in a hepatotoxic oral on top of that for your very first cycle ever. Seems a bit much. So anyways, that is my stance on Idiot, also known as Not Shaner, also known as the 6'9" of fitness, clown symbol, clown symbol. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplates.dates. Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic. It's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas. I design myself from scratch, and anything else I'm associated with, it's all in the video description below, including recommended lab tests and diagnostics. You do not want to be exposing yourself to anything like this if you do not have baseline blood work metrics, if you don't have high quality diagnostics, if you don't have mid-cycle diagnostics, post-cycle. This is all this shit that is the basic necessities that go into planning a course of anything. So just keep that in mind. And thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.